Hello everyone, this is your favorite carbon footprint specialist from Carbon Updates, here to update you on the tutorial on the Carbon Updates dashboard. When you open the dashboard, when you open the link, this is the first view that you see. You will see a welcome screen that will welcome you to Carbon Updates dashboard. It will say explore climate and carbon finance projects around the world. Click on any point on the map to see project details. Search for specific projects by name or location. This is just the tip of the iceberg. So let's get started. So when you click started, right? So there are a few things that you need to understand. We have a bunch of countries, outlined and ready to go, but we have right now at this point in time in 23rd of July, whenever this is recorded in 2025, we have 7 countries outlined as active countries in our dashboard. We hope to have more of these countries, and whenever you are seeing this in whatever point of time, there might be other countries available in this dashboard as well. So without much further ado, let us begin. And I'd like to begin with our own favorite country, Nepal. All of these countries are my favorite, but I am from Nepal, so I will choose Nepal. Okay, so when you click Nepal, you can see a Google map over there with all the countries, but you will see a really familiar face, a really familiar website if you are part of the forestry community. And I'd like to thank the Global Forest Watch Map for being a very darling and being open source out there, and we've embedded that. And if you want to check their services out, I would highly recommend Global Forest Watch Map and build a dashboard for them. So why I gave this is because this is the most important map that I think I use, particularly before the dashboard existed, in figuring out what sort of carbon projects are out there and what sort of data related to carbon projects that we can do. But this is not the only map that we've embedded. We have a lot of other things, that are available in this dashboard. First of all, we have the map view over here. We have the project view, which you can only log in and access. We're going to come around that for a little bit later. We have the layers button. We're going to come around that with a little bit later. So let's see if we can change a country, right? So whenever you click on the change country button, you have all these other options available. So you can click on any other countries. So let's click on Nigeria. Let's see what happens whenever we click on Nigeria. So you can see the welcome to the Global Forest Watch Map loading, but if you close this model over here, you can see Nigeria in your screen, right? So you can do that with any other countries. Chatbot, it is available for our logged in users because we've been able to give that login users that facility for them. But what are you going to do if there is still nothing to do? Is there nothing to do if you are logged in? No. We have a lot for you even if you have not logged in. You can check out our other resources by clicking on the info button. This is much more useful if you already are a user. Whenever you log in, you have 4 user roles over there. You have project developer, you have verifier, you have financier, you have government stakeholder, and you have super admin, which oversees the entire system. So there are super admins which work on the tasks recommended, debugging of the platform, and everything that goes in between. The project workflow works like this. Projects flows through verification, financing, government approval stages, with each role having specific responsibility and tasks. Now, to understand all these roles, you don't need to go in. If you just want to understand how to build a project or how to estimate carbon with the Carbon Updates dashboard, let me show you how you can do that. The most important button in all of the dashboard is this layer button. So let's see what we can do with this. With this, we have the base working map. We have our drone mapper software. We have the Global Forest Watch, and we have given them a lot of credit. We have the climate simulator. We have the economic complexity. We have the IPCC database. We have the weather prediction based on the climate changes. We have the carbon pricing dashboard. We have the inventory comparison dashboard, and we have a 3D visualization. So I'm going to guide you through each and every one of them. So let's start with the base working map. You can open this by double clicking it, and it's easy as pie. So whenever you want to start a carbon project, there's 2 ways you can go about it. There's land-based projects where your carbon is sequestered around a piece of land or an area, and then there is the project-based activities where you might have different devices or different projects going throughout the globe, so it's not trapped by land. So those are the only two models that we think are available whenever you're trying to build a project, or whenever you're trying to verify, or whenever you're trying to finance a project. So we made it very easy. So this is a professional carbon estimation tool. This utilizes IPCC guidelines, it uses UNFCCC standards, and it provides you a report that's certification ready, right? The other thing about it is it helps you to understand the basic principles of building up a carbon project, and then help you guide through it very easily. So basically what we have with land projects is we have the map areas, we have 12 land types, interactive mapping, and real-time calculations. And with project-based activities, we have project-based CO2 reductions and different kinds of solutions with that. So let's start with the land-based projects, right? So what are the land use types? We have these amazing, what does this mean? Kind of a solution over here. And we whenever you talk about forest, you have tropical forest, and we have a estimation on the amount of CO2 per hectare per year. We have temperate forest, we have boreal forest. You need to have mangroves, wetlands, peatlands, restored lands, grasslands, cropland, urban green areas, agroforestry, and much more. There are new updates happening to this with the standards, and we can choose with that. And you can see here there is the beginner mode and expert mode. Whenever you toggle from beginner to expert mode, you get to choose different kinds of parameters you can change, right? And I would suggest the expert mode to the people who are really doing this manually through Excel and CSV. They can tune in and change a few parameters that we have set in default. But if you are someone new who doesn't understand any of this, you can toggle in the beginner mode and it will guide you. So let's just say we have a tropical forest, right, or a temperate forest. So we just click on the tropical forest and it will guide you to this map. So how do you map your area? So it's very easy. All you got to do is figure out where your temperate forest is, and then what you do is you sort of highlight that in this map, or you can actually search for that coordinate right here. So I will not be doing any of that. I will just be doing a random area with a temperate forest. And I know there are people who are like really particular, you want to do a polygon and everything, but since we are going through a tutorial, I just want to show you how to do this. So basically you can either do a circle like this, right, or you can do a rectangle like this, right, or you can do a polygon like this and this and this and this. You can do a polygon, but let's clear all of it. Let's just do a polygon, right? So with a polygon, what you can do is you can zoom in and you can do complex shape, right? You can like trace this like particular area. Let's just say we want to do this highway, and then like it is this weird shape, right? So when you scroll down, right, it's going to give you the total amount of hectares that you have covered, annual sequestration, based on the idea that this is a temperate forest, right? Now as a product developer, you can choose anything that you want, but there are verifiers who are going to verify if this is a temperate forest or not, or if it's a tropical forest or not. That's the one we've chosen. If it's not, they're going to re-verify, and these numbers, this number is actually going to change, right? There is going to be deviance based on that. So next up, what you do is you go to configuration. Now as you can see, since we are in beginner mode or in expert mode, right, there are step-by-step numbers. So you have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you can choose any of these numbers and then you can do that. So these are your configurations, and this is your scientific basis. You can click here and you can go to this IPCC 2006 guideline, FAO Forest Resource Assessment 2020, and then you can see where it's referenced from. Or what you can do is you can switch to expert mode and you can check custom sequestration rate. Now if you have the exact sequestration rate data from like a research paper or something that you can quote, you can put it here. You can put your project duration date. Usually a project duration date, I would keep it at 5 to 10 years, but sometimes you might have custom numbers. And then you have confidence levels, right? You can go 25% or less or more. So you can change these as well. And all of this can be changed. So I don't know why anybody would like to change this, but I'd like just to go like this. So let's calculate the final results, right? So as you can see, we have annual carbon sequestration of 1562.82 given on the predications and the custom scenario that you've given. It gives you sequestration of 1562.82 tons of CO2 equivalent per year, and lifetime projection for this at least over 10 years would be 15,628 tons of CO2 equivalent, and sequestration rate is about 8.2 tons of CO2 equivalent per hectare per year. If you don't understand whatever this is, it's very easy to go and read up about it in this IPCC 2006 guidelines. So what it gives you right here is this calculation breakdown is the land type, total area, sequestration rate, and annual total. So even if you have if you forgot whatever parameters that you set, you can go back and look at it this way. You can generate a complete PDF report, and it is going to be exported to your computer or your downloads folder. You can do a GeoJSON data, you can do a CSV data, or you can do a JSON data as well. And you can copy this image, you can do this analysis. See, your project does about 828 it's about 340 cars removed from the road. So you can do average car emissions, average home energy emissions, and trees for 20 years. So you can do an analysis of all of this over here. It gives you a very easy graph. Now as you can see, this graph, it gives you like a flat out rate, right? That's not what you're gonna get in your first year. You can probably get a graph that's like sort of curved or sort of ellipsed and everything else. So because this is an estimation tool, it gives you like a ballpark area of how it performs, right? Now it's the duty of the verifier who can actually estimate that and give you that. So how does a verifier estimate this? So whenever a verifier can do that, they can actually modify your parameters, they can start a new estimation, we can do all of that. So but we're not going to do that. What a verifier usually does, and I would do this as a verifier, is a verifier would do it using a drone. So they would actually get a drone, they would use LiDAR drone and get started with that. So for verifier as well, we have drone maps. So what we can do with this is the same thing. So a verifier would do is, now that you have an estimation data, you know like the boundaries and everything is exported, you have like the JSON data, you have the GIS map, and everything is ready. Now what you can do is you can choose the type of drones. So see, we have the consumer drones, we have enterprise drones, we have all sort of drones. We not only do we have DJI, we have free fly, sense fly, we have different kinds of drones. So for your sake and mine, I can choose DJI Metris. I like this drone, right? Personally, I love this drone, but you can choose yours. Now we can do a circle mission. That basically means you draw a circle in a map and do that. You can do an area survey, you can do a linear survey, or you can do a 3D reconstruction. For that, it would do 5 passes. So you don't need to understand any of this. This software will teach you and help you guide through with all of this. So I'll just do a 3D reconstruction. A 3D reconstruction basically means a drone just flies over the land area that we selected earlier, and we'll do a 3D reconstruction, right? So I'll go next, and you get to the same map, and it will ask you to draw a rectangle and everything. But what we'll do is we'll go to the same location and we'll draw a same shape, because I'm not in the same location. So what I'm just gonna do is just assume it's the same location, right? Because I'm not logged in, this is not gonna save my data and save everything else. I'm just giving you a guest view. So what you gotta do is you gotta do this. It's gonna give you, look, it's gonna give you about 9 waypoints. So waypoints are like your checkpoints. Like whenever you're trying to play a game, or whenever you're trying to Uber anywhere, or whenever you're trying to do anything in a game, there's checkpoints, right? So these waypoints are there. You can manually add more waypoints like this. You can like make it very random, or you can choose other options. I did not want to there is, whenever you log in, there is like an expert mode where you can tweak everything else, but I'm just trying to give you like a perspective on how this goes, right? So basically you can edit this, you can tweak all those things, you can remove this using delete waypoints and all of that. So we're not going to do all of that. What we're going to do is we're going to choose next and see. So all of these flight classes, they're automatically made. If you don't know how to fly a drone, this is for you. If you know how to fly a drone, this is a superpower for you. You can like pretty much tweak all these data points. You can edit this. You can figure out your gimbal position, your flight pattern. I know like there are like really expert drone flyers out there. They're just cursing at me and they're just telling me this doesn't work, but this might be the worst drone tutorial video out there, but I'm just giving you an idea. An expert with this software over here can do a lot. So close this, and then you can choose next. It's going to give you your total flight time, your drone model, your 3D reconstruction, your waypoints, flight passes, your base altitude, and it's going to give you your flight missions and everything else. You can either generate a checklist. I would humbly suggest you to generate a checklist, and you can export the mission. When you export the mission, it's going to give you a KMZ file. That's the exact file that you put into your DJI Fly app or any other flight simulator that you have, and then you can put it there and it'll automatically load up the mission that you have, and it will fly all over there. That's it. So what we're going to do is export mission. Whenever your export is successful, there you go. You can do that, or you can generate a checklist and it's going to give you a pre-flight checklist, and that's how you're done. Now you combine the two data, your estimation and your drone flight data, and you pretty much get an answer. But let's say those two data are not the only data that you want to rely. You want to make it much more reliable, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to go to the climate simulator that is built by On-Roads. Trust me, I would highly suggest you to go to their website and use this tool and share this tool to everyone. I've been using this tool for such a long time that, thanks to them, that they taught me that software can help me guide this. So what this will give you is a tool. This is an open source tool. It will give you an idea on what are the steps you can take, what are the things that you can do that you can actually globally decrease your carbon footprint and decrease your energy energy usage and all of that. So you can use all of this, right? And you can tweak all the data over here. And what you can do with this is views, actions and outcomes. So whatever actions that we recently took, these are the outcomes, right? So you can take this data and all the backend database that they have, and you can parse this into the system, and that is provided into our chatbot and our login facility, right? So whenever all of this is done, and let's imagine we've got the IPCC database as well. You can refer to the IPCC database here in itself, so you don't need to go to any other website. You can pretty much see everything inside our web view over here. You can pretty much get all the databases over here. You can export it to XLS, and then whenever you log in, you can do all of that. So imagine you do all of this for a location, right? So how does someone who's a financier, or someone who wants to, let's say, invest, or who's a government stakeholder, as shown in this view for you right over here, how do they make a decision, right? So for that, what we've also built is a 3D visualization layer, and I would like to thank the open source community, especially the people who made the Potree library and this 3D diagram for us to show it for you. So basically what this does is it gives you the general idea of what you're going to see. So once you do a survey of the map and all the drone 3D reconstruction is provided, you can pretty much label everything. The verifier is going to label everything, and it's going to give you an idea about how much of forest is, how much carbon density, and what is inside. So let's imagine, right? You have this pre-built analysis tool from Potree. So you just select this, and it's going to give you an idea about how much of carbon sequestration is available in that heat spot over there, with that center over there. Because we've already done it with an estimator, we have incorporated open source data, we incorporated IPCC database, and we can incorporate any other database over here. You can pretty much estimate and figure out and see it in real time, and you can make a decision if you want to buy the carbon credit or not, right? So that is the guest view for our carbon updates dashboard, and I would like to highly suggest you to try it. And thank you so much for watching this tutorial. The next one is going to be focused around whatever happens whenever we log in, right? So whenever we log in, you can like pretty much check in and figure out what sort of views and however like we operate. But this is the guest view, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope this too is useful for you, even if you are not involved in the carbon finance or carbon simulation in this activity. Hope this is useful for you. And if you want to use this, and if you want to make a carbon project, you can pretty much sign up right here. You can go to www.carbonupdates.com. It should be in the descriptions below, and you can sign up and you can use our software. It's live, and you can request for other features, right? We can add as many features as possible. I have not even talked about the weather prediction, the carbon pricing, the inventory comparison, and everything. I'll show you something else for Nepal. We have incorporated, for Nepal, we have incorporated one important thing: the NDC dashboard and the BTR dashboard. You can read Nepal's NDC dashboard and BTR dashboard, and if your country has already published their NDC and BTR, please reach out to us at www.carbonupdates.com or any of our handles, and you can pretty much see how you can look at this and then add your own countries. So you can pretty much toggle the BTR and NDC dashboard over here like this, and you can see the dashboard and NDC project tracker and everything. It gives you like a really high level overview about Nepal's NDC and BTR. So thank you for watching through our tutorial, and I hope to see you again.